Right. I just want to take this time to talk about, perseverance and pushing through even though things don't seem as good as they should be, or maybe not going as you planned them to go. Um, Sometimes when the road that you're traveling on gets a little bit, you know, foggy or crowded, or I'll use this as a metaphor today, but as you can see, the snow, for whatever reason, the snow on this side is a lot worse than the snow on that side. And, just because somebody else's path looks like it's easier to travel doesn't mean that your path isn't going to get you to where you're trying to go. So you can't compare your path with somebody else's path. For one, you don't know where somebody else started from. And for two, you definitely know where you started from. And as long as you're not still sitting at a standstill and not going to where you need to be going, not trying to achieve your goals, then you're going to be all right. So you need to focus on your path, focus on what you're doing, and have the perseverance to say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to achieve this goal. And, and the things I want to do, only my path can get me there. If you follow somebody else's footsteps and you follow their path, they're going to take you to where they've gone, or you might not even be able to get to where they're going because you haven't had to you know, travel to get to the point to where they're at. So if you focus on yourself, focus on your path, try and come up with your own plan. You can always learn from other people, but it's important to focus on yourself and make sure that you're doing everything that you can be doing to achieve those goals. So I just know that when I was growing up, I used to look up to people, or I would compare my life to everybody else's life, and think, how come their life is easy, or they look like they have more money than my family, or things like that. You're always just, you're trying to find your place in the world, trying to figure out where you fit in. And for me, it took me a long time to figure out, like, nobody's got it figured out in this world. So everybody's insecure about themselves at some point when they're growing up, or they you can't judge your life against somebody else's and think that their life is just great just because you're seeing it from the outside. um one of my friends back in grade school, I used to think, man, he always had nicer clothes than me. So I always thought, um, his family must have a lot of money or whatever. That's kind of what I thought. And then little did I know that his parents are going through a divorce too at the same time. So, like, just because I thought his life was perfect, or he had more money, or they were they were doing, better than I was doing, um, it just wasn't the case. And looking back, we didn't have I didn't have a bad childhood at all by any means. And it's not that I didn't have nice clothes. It's just we didn't spend the money on name brand stuff. And, now that I'm older, I rarely spend money on name brand stuff either, because there's no point, all I need to, I just need I like nice clothes, but I don't need to have the name brand stuff. And some people do. Some people want that, Louis Vuitton, or, whatever else there is, Coach or whatever. And I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't have one or two nice things, but if the only thing that you wear is Jordans, and you have to have Jordan socks, and you have to have, all of the nicest stuff, I think you're taking it. I mean, in my opinion, I think you're taking it to an extreme. And like, who needs Jordan socks? Like, your socks are gonna get holes in them in like a couple months anyways, and you're gonna have to buy, more socks. But anyways, back to your road where you're going. You need to focus on where you're going, on the road you need to travel, and you're gonna come up to different towns, if you will, and different, different wins that somebody else wouldn't hit. Somebody trying to follow in my footsteps ain't gonna quite make it. So, or they won't be able to take the same routes, make the right decisions, the same decisions that I made. And honestly, sometimes you might make a better decision than what I've made if you're trying to follow in my footsteps, because you can, um, just based on your life experiences and where you're trying to go. So I just I want you, if you're watching this, I want you to take this week to just really focus on yourself and your path, and where you're trying to go and what you're trying to achieve, because somebody else's goals and dreams aren't your goals and dreams. So if you can figure out exactly what it is that you want, and focus on your goals, your dreams, focus on where you're trying to get to, um, your vision goes from this to this. And when you're focused on something narrow like that, and you can see right in front of you, and you know exactly where you need to go and what you need to do, um, more opportunities are going to come to you. So just keep doing that, and let me know in the comments how this week goes.